Professor Loki, or is it Sherlock Lofison? Either way, this episode was great because it was surrounded in discovery, mystery, and actually figuring out what's going on. It didn't leave us hanging on anything. It's like this series is doing its job, and I think this series is more like a Holmes and Watson, or Holmes and Watson we should have gotten. But before we get started in this episode breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Beard or Blerd on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. All right, let's get started. It's kind of annoying and funny to see that, the TVA still has their own little corporate compliance training that Loki has to finish before he can start doing his job. Now, I love how Loki got inducted into the TVA. You see he gets his line jacket, he's all set and ready to go. Line name variant, alias, God of Mischief. But it seems like, our favorite hunter, she still ain't tolerating no Loki shit. Like, she does not with Loki, period. I will say though, what I did like is the explanation between duplication and creating an illusion, and how Loki all of a sudden turned into Professor Loki. Now I really thought Sherlock Lofison was on to something real quick. I really thought he was giving us something and actually giving us important information, but he wasn't. He was just being Loki again. I should have seen it coming. So after continuing to try to prove that he's trustworthy to Mobius, they go to Pompeii. Now, they figured out that the other Loki is hiding in Doomsday events, so they're trying to narrow it down. But what I found interesting about this scene was that they didn't really notice Loki, and they kept walking past him until he started doing out of control shit and throwing things in the air. And it was just like, all right, this is a cool little scene, but let's get more to the nitty gritty and the meat potato. Now, one of the most important things, and one of my favorite things about Loki, is that it takes its time with dialogue, right? And it actually gives us good dialogue, not a bunch of one-liners and open-ended questions and answers, but actually sitting down, talking about things, trying to figure out things. During this episode, Loki's trying to make sense of the TVA, while Mobius is trying to be like, well, if you don't think this makes sense, Asgard doesn't make sense either, which makes sense, right? So Holmes and Watson finally figures out, where the other Loki is. And I love how when they were getting ready to go, our favorite hunter was just like, absolutely not, you cannot have a weapon, period, point blank. She doesn't fuck with Loki, period. Major spoilers ahead for anyone who doesn't want the ending of the episode ruined for them. With that being said, this ending was great. It was climactic. It gave me what I wanted. So I thought it was really interesting how our favorite hunter was taken over by the other Loki. Didn't catch me off guard too much. It should have, but it did. But it was hilarious to see Loki get a dose of his own medicine with dealing with himself. My fault. Randy. And it was just funny because Loki's really annoying to talk to. But it was funny because I guess the other Loki got a little annoyed at talking with Loki. So she sucked Larry the Cable Guy on Loki to kick his ass. Which kind of caught me off guard when Loki went to grab that thing off the shelf and he summoned it like Thor's hammer. I didn't even know he could do that. That caught me off guard. I'm really happy they didn't drag this reveal out. I would have kind of been irritated if we were waiting 3 or 4 episodes for them to drag out the other Loki. And I'm glad they brought her. And I'm actually happy that she is a woman Loki, the other Loki. It gives a little bit more to the story. But it was crazy because now she knows everything about the TVA because it was revealed to her after she kidnapped the timekeeper. So I'm like, wow, what's going on? Now, I don't think Loki is going to betray them. I think he's just looking for answers, right? And these two Lokis have two separate motivations. Or are they the same motivation? So, what do you think about this week's episode? I thought it was great. I like that I really don't know much about it. So I'm ignorant as a lot of people who just watch the Marvel shows. Usually I know about the comics, but WandaVision, I knew it was going to happen. I know a lot about Wanda. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I knew it was going to happen. I knew a lot about that. Here, I don't know a damn thing about Loki besides the Marvel events that I read. So I love not knowing. But we do know that shit is going down. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Beard or Blerd on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Alright, thanks for watching.